the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person. I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many ones that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started to outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
Okay, it's a nice, wonderful Sunday afternoon. What up? What up, crackers? Sorry, super cringe. This fucking music is cringe. I'll give up everything! It's not much. I mean, what am I making fun of? You know what I mean? Let's be honest. He's going wild right now. He's going wild. Hit me with that Duke Nukem opening. Where's the Duke Nukem? I got it somewhere. Give me that Duke Nukem opening. This is really like super chill, like too chill. Like give me the Duke Nukem opening. Where is it? I'm like see, this is why I need a producer or like a guy running the board or those type of things.
Hey you're listening to the Joe Cronin Show, and it's me, Duke Nukem, and I kill baby seals because it makes me feel good.
All right, Duke. That's sick. You're a sick person, Duke. Let's cut right to the chase. Duke Nukem is a sicko. What's up, chat? How you doing? Did the alert go out? I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. I think it's out there. We got Jared in the chat, so he got it. We got T22, who always confuses me because I think it's TSS and it's not. Rostaf is here. Furry balls plop menacing line in my head. Yo, what's going on? I wasn't here yesterday. Colonel Stutters is here. Paul 3 had a horrible day because nobody he hated was raped. So that's always a bad day for Paul 3. So, Paul, sorry about your bad day. You know, we don't like SJWs, yeah. Tell him, Duke. Pretty sure we got Duke Nukem on our side, man, when it comes to that. Okay? Listen to this. It'll play eventually. Or maybe it won't play. I think it's broken, bro. Oh, is it going to play or is it going to freeze? I don't know. Fucking everything's broken, bro. Everything's busted. Your Patreon notified you? Good. At least Patreon sent you the notification. Nothing's working, bro. My audio clips aren't working. Stuff's freezing, you know. That's what happens when people fucking hack you. You know what I mean? Every fucking second. Nothing works. Nothing works right. Everybody else complains about everything, but this is what I do for a living, and it's much worse for me than you, and you don't even know it. Yo. If Joe Cronin doesn't leave YouTube, Rybach will remove his content from YouTube. Wow. That is a fucking hilarious thing. Wow. God damn, Rybach leaving YouTube. That'd be a shame, man, if they don't get rid of me. You know, forget about Rybach coming here. You know? Shell shock. We're going to hurt Rybach, bro. Rybach, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to beat me up at some con thing? You know, that's what he wants to do. Rybach wants to beat me up at some con event. Rybach, I will literally take every photo that you didn't sell, which will be 90% of them, and I will slice you in the throat and give you 100 paper cuts. You hear me, Rybach? I will give you 100 fucking paper cuts. Okay, Rybach? 100 paper cuts across your stupid, big, fat neck. I want you to know that this will happen. Okay? So don't mess with me, Rybach. Don't fuck around with me. I will give you paper cuts at wrestling events. Understand that. Understand that's real. You know? And the sooner you understand that, Ryback, you know what I mean, the better off you'll be. That I will give you hundreds of paper cuts on your throat. You know what I mean? And you're not going to be able to deal with that. You're going to freak out. You're going to flip out. You're going to get angry. And you start running around like a goddamn maniac with your head cut off. Like a chicken with its head cut off. It's going to happen. And you're going to fucking snap. All right? And it's not worth it. You know, really, I understand, but it's not worth it, bro. You're just going to calm down. Relax. Let everything unfold the way it's going to unfold and be a good guy. Oh, man. Velveteen Dream has been talking a lot in the wrestling world and a lot everywhere about everything going on. He was basically like, listen, bro, yeah, I wanted to have sex with people. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a lonely person like anybody else. Like, I want to make love to people. I want to bring people back to my apartment, but I never messaged underage people. And he's like, somebody got a hold of my naked pic that I sent on Tinder, because he said he sent it on Tinder, and it came up on Twitter. And he goes, I would never use my WWE handle to do that sort of thing. You know, he's like, I was on Tinder and somebody got a hold of that. That's what he says. I don't know if I think I believe it. I think the guy was set up. I mean, after Enzo's, you know, getting fired over a bullshit lie. You know what I mean? Who knows? Who knows what the hell is real or not real anymore with everything that's going on? You know what I mean? And by the way, this video today is going to have a bunch of stuff on it, but we're going to be live for a little bit here for a few. It's Sunday afternoon. I may be live again later, or I may not be. I don't know. I didn't do anything yesterday, so you got me today. You know what I mean? You guys got me today. I wasn't here yesterday at all. I was so busy with life. I may be leaving. My YouTube channel's for sale. Anybody who wants to buy my YouTube channel or knows anybody that wants to buy a YouTube channel or knows anybody that's rich that wants to buy a YouTube channel, please email me, joecroninshow@yahoo.com. Serious inquiries. It's not a joke. Like, it's a serious inquiry only. If you'd like to buy a channel, please email me, joecroninshow@yahoo.com. They got to have money, though, man. My channel's worth somewhere between $10,000 to $60,000, believe it or not. But it's worth something like that. So hit me up, email joecroninshow@yahoo.com. Samoa Joe leaving on Twitter, talking about Twitter being a toxic piece of shit. I mean, we already know what Twitter is. So we're going to talk about Samoa Joe and what he said about Twitter. We're going to talk about Neil Young, man. Neil Young. We're going to talk more about that Spotify stuff that's going on. How interesting is that, man? I'm sorry, but the world is so much more interesting than WWE. Isn't the world much more interesting than WWE? When you have the government and the presidents and stuff trying to shut down a podcaster, you know, and other people like that, that doesn't blow your mind? I mean, like, do you guys remember that? I don't know if the president back in the day when Howard Stern was on the radio, I don't know if the president was ever trying to shut down Howard Stern. Now, the FCC was trying to shut down Howard Stern. You know what I mean? They were trying to shut down Howard Stern, and then he eventually went to Sirius Satellite Radio where he could do anything he wanted, and they couldn't shut him down there. And it was a fun ride for probably 10 years, maybe 10 years on Sirius Satellite. It was a fun ride for Howard. But even Howard admitted once he could do anything, it was not fun anymore. You know, it was like, well, you can just do anything you want, so it's not quite as fun because you don't have the bad guy telling you you're going to be off the air. But so then I guess Howard decided to just go full PG the other way and throw everything he ever did or loved under the bus, which is fine if you grow as a person, I guess, in a way. I just don't like when people diminish or try to hide the stuff they used to do. I don't mind if you change as a person and you start realizing that, hey, listen, those things I did 30 years ago I don't agree with anymore and I think it was wrong. But it's still art that you created, so then to go back and censor the art or change the art, I just find that very dishonest and creepy and weird. So I hate that. I hate that idea, you know? So I don't like that. Many of you don't like that. Many people don't like that. They do that with TV shows, movies, and stuff, books. Can you imagine if they went back in time and just edited every book ever? I don't know. It's just the same thing. How could you possibly like that? I don't understand how you could possibly enjoy that, like that, want that to happen. You know, I don't understand that. And then we're going to go to your questions on Patreon. So we're going to go to those in a minute as well. A lot of you guys had questions about things and ideas about things. And I could, like to go over those. What up, Guardian of Chaos? What's up? How you doing? We're going to go over those things in a minute when I pop into the questions. And some of this is going to be recorded only on the Patreon. So the second half of this, when we go off the air, will be up on Patreon in audio form for you. But right now, we're sticking to the live deal. We're looking at the chat. We're making sure the alert goes out to everybody on a Sunday afternoon. Rastafa's harassing people in the chat like usual. He's a sick person. That's just sick of you to do. But, hey, you do what you got to do, Rastafa. You go after people in the chat if you got to, A lot of people asking me about, let me see, what do we think? What do you think about the government going after a podcast like Joe Rogan or whatever? Do you see what Jen Psaki said? Is that her name, Psaki? She's named after a Japanese drink. Is that really her last name, Saki or Sucky? I thought her name was Jen. Oh, it is Psaki, yeah, but it's spelled Psaki, but it's Saki. What's with her last name? She married to someone Japanese? Saki. Going to have some sake. I'd like to have some sake right now. That shit will fuck you up. We got Halo, Batman, Star Trek, stuff like that. I got to talk about. I'm jealous of Whoopi Goldberg. You know what I mean? She got away with it. How can I get away with it? You know what I mean? How come everybody else doesn't? But Whoopi gets 2 weeks. Just slap on the wrist, man. Roseanne had to be on a... Roseanne's now a psycho living in a closet. Like Roseanne now is on 7 QAnon teams at this point. All you did was push her further down the rabbit hole. That's what you did to Roseanne. Roseanne made a joke, and she's gone forever now. You know what I mean? But Whoopi is just, she'll be back in 2 weeks. What the fuck? Joe Rogan made a Planet of the Apes joke. By the way, is anyone else getting Planet of the Apes everywhere right now? All week I've been getting suggested Planet of the Apes everywhere. Everywhere. On my fucking TV upstairs. I turned on my TV upstairs, and the background is the Planet of the Apes background. And it's like, there's no new movie out. There's no anything. And I'm like, why is Planet of the Apes being pushed down my throat on every channel, everything I go on to? And it's all because of the Joe Rogan joke that's going on. It's got to be. I didn't look it up. I didn't search Planet of the Apes. I didn't even search the Joe Rogan ape comments. I didn't do that. I watched the video on it on Instagram. I watched his apology video thing that he did, which he should stop apologizing because it just makes it worse. Every time he apologizes, then those people write, he apologizes. It's like, it'd be better to just say, fuck you. That'd be better. Or say nothing. He said nothing about it. That video's been in circulation for fucking 7 years. And no one ever says anything about it until now. All of a sudden, just like Alex Jones. Alex Jones' Sandy Hook happened 4 years before he got canceled. They just decided to cancel him. They were like, let's cancel him. What do we have to cancel him with? Oh, yes, that Sandy Hook thing that he said. Let's go back and do that. Even though he's already apologized for it for 3-4 years now. Now let's get him on that. Joe Rogan, the fucking Planet of the Apes comment and weird, N-word jokes and stuff. Oh, that's been in circulation forever. We all have known about it, but let's now bring it up now to it's just like, hello, we know what's going on. We understand what the fuck is going on. Don't apologize, Joe. Don't apologize. Tell people to suck your dick off. I'm jealous of Whoopi Goldberg, okay? I'm jealous of Whoopi Goldberg. I'm jealous of everybody. How do all these people get in the news? You know what I mean? What do I have to do to become popular like Joe Rogan? Do I have to kill a fucking tribe of people, of children? What do I have to do? Do I have to bring back another Holocaust? What do I have to do? What does Joe Cronin have to do to possibly get on this level? And I made that tweet, a similar tweet in a comment section about that. I started saying what do I have to do? Stab people, hurt people? Maybe I should talk shit about every other race so I can become popular. I don't know. And then somebody in the Twitter world earlier when I was saying that, making that joke, they thought I was serious, and then they were like, oh, you're a Nazi. And I said, yes, I'm a Nazi. Whatever gets me in the headlines. I'm a Nazi and I kill babies. Like, put whatever the fuck you got to say to get me in the headlines. And then somebody goes, Joe, if you think that's funny, you've got to hear what Tim Dillon said because he's already made that joke. And I said, what do you mean? Because someone understood what I was talking about. And they were like, dude, Tim Dillon made that joke on his podcast already earlier. And I said, really? I said, so I went and listened to it, and I went, oh my God. And it's like, I was just ranting on Twitter, like, well, fuck you. What do I got to do to be popular? But he went on a rant that's very similar, and it's even funnier. And I appreciate, who's the man that sent me this? Swayman? Swayman, thank you for sending me this on Twitter, because this fucking clip is hilarious. And it also ties into Jen Psaki, because Jen Psaki and the White House saying that, oh, you need to do more to censor Joe Rogan. But I actually still think that that's not 100% what they said. I think they were trying to talk about all censorship or all misinformation or whatever. The problem is they still only execute certain people for misinformation. You know what I mean? CNN lies about everything. There's no misinformation. If the Young Turks give out misinformation, they don't care. But if Joe Rogan has people on, let me make a great point real quick before we move on to this. And this is a very funny clip I'm going to play, and it's right up my wheelhouse. And when people always make fun of me and say, Joe, how could you say these things? Oh, it's just a joke, Joe. Yeah, it is just a joke. My humor is fucked, okay? My humor is fucked. My comedy is in my head, and my humor is fucked. And that's why I like people originally like Bill Burr and Tim Dillon and Dave Chappelle and stuff like that. I feel that that's my type of humor. So I didn't even see this Dillon thing, so I appreciate you sending me it because the clip is fucking hilarious. But let me explain something. What if every radio program in the world till the beginning of time, can you imagine every radio program? You know what I mean? Every day, a guy on a radio show, since forever. Since forever? Since forever. Every day, a guy on a radio show sits down to do a 4-hour broadcast. And in that 4 hours, he hosts a show. He has callers call the show. Callers call the show, and they give their opinions on things. And if a caller calls a show and says, here's my opinion. I think they need to bring back newspapers and get rid of phones because phones, I think, cause harm to your brain, and they obviously cause us to be more distracted than usual. They need to go back to just newspapers. And they have a discussion about this. And then the guy goes, okay, caller, whatever. Thank you, caller number 7, for he wants newspapers only. Okay, let's hang up the phone now. Let's go to the next caller. You're on live with Benny in the morning or whatever. Okay, so right there, you could say that radio station and that radio host is pushing misinformation. Everybody could be pushing misinformation. The bottom line is a host sits down behind a microphone, gives his opinion based on what he knows and what he wants to know, whether it's fact, fiction, or comedy, or made up, or his opinion. He gives it on this side of the microphone. Then he has somebody on the other side of the microphone as a guest come on the show. That guest gives his opinion, he lies, gives his opinion, gives misinformation, gives real information, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. They sit down for 4 hours, they have conversations. If you fact check everything, you might find out certain things might be more wrong or right than the others, and some stuff is opinion. Well, guess what? That's the same thing with every radio fucking station ever. Ever. Misinformation, opinion, objection. That's what a discussion can elicit. He's not a news station. He's not going on the TV saying, we are bringing you the facts and the news. That's what CNN does. But they lie, and they give misinformation. They said that ivermectin that Joe Rogan took was a horse dewormer, that Joe Rogan took horse dewormer. He didn't take horse dewormer. He took a award-winning medication that is also used in other cases for horses, but has also been synthesized for humans in a different way. It won fucking awards. But CNN said the guy took horse dewormer. That's not true. That's misinformation. But they are the news. They're not in trouble. CNN said that the Coventry children were attacking Native Americans, and they weren't. In fact, they were being mobbed by the Native Americans, or the protester Native Americans, which aren't really them. So guess what? CNN got sued and lost. CNN just paid up big time. That's misinformation. And guess what? They got sued for it. And they lost. What the fuck is the misinformation behind sitting at a podcast and having a discussion? I don't give a fuck. If you don't like Joe Rogan or you do like Joe Rogan, I couldn't give a shit. I think most people out there are just sick of Joe Rogan. I think some people don't even listen, and they're like, oh my God, every day it's about Joe Rogan. Think about that. Every day it is about Joe Rogan. Why is that? It shouldn't be, but it is. Because we've lost our goddamn minds. And that's why Samoa Joe left Twitter. He was like, fuck this place. I don't go on Twitter because it's full of fucking toxic psycho fucks, and I'm not coming on to Twitter. That's why Samoa Joe left goddamn fucking Twitter. The only reason Joe Rogan would want to come back to Twitter is if he wanted to have sex with an angry SJW psycho who wanted everybody dead and their hair painted pink and fucked in front of the world on some weird website called dingleberries.com or something. Fucking weird shit. But yeah, Whoopi Goldberg gone for 2 weeks. Roseanne gone forever, I guess. And what's weird is Roseanne called somebody an ape, too. It's always the ape thing. You ever notice that? Joe Rogan, we're in the fucking way. We get out here, it's Planet of the Apes. Do you guys want to see Planet of the Snow Apes? Check this out. I tweeted this out yesterday. I stand with Joe Rogan because in the Cronin household, it's Planet of the Snow Apes. You ever seen this many snow apes in one place? Look at my family and me. Look at that. Joe Rogan got out in Philadelphia somewhere, and it was Planet of the Apes. Well, you get out in Joe Cronin's bedroom, it's Planet of the fucking Snow Apes. Look at us. Sorry. I also tweeted this out. Thought this was fucking hilarious. Shawn Michaels. This is what's going on in NXT, apparently. Look at this. Shawn Michaels. Well, it looks like he's defeated Triple H. Mark Carrano, I think that is in the second one. I'm not sure who that is, actually. Shane McMahon, and he's on his way up to Bruce Pritchard right now. Can Shawn Michaels super kick Bruce Pritchard out of the WWE and then take out Khan? Khan the Ultimate. I don't know if you can take out Khan, man. Just like Mortal Kombat, you know what I mean? Shang Tsung. I don't know if you're going to be able to take out Bruce Pritchard, bro. That's going to be a tough feat. I'm going to be 100% honest. The Rock. Rocky Maivia. If he is a mellow. The Rock was supporting Joe Rogan. Now The Rock says he didn't realize that Joe Rogan said racist things. So now The Rock has to evaluate and take a step back. And it's a teachable moment. Isn't it, Rock? It's a teachable moment what Joe Rogan said. Is this a teachable moment?
In further clarification, let The Rock tell you in Chinese.
Uh-oh. Chinese?
Ding bong ding dong, he's stone cold aye.
Is that a teachable moment, Rock? Is that a teachable moment? Huh? When your family fucking evolved from the fucking goddamn crab cakes under the water and rose up into the island and started dancing in front of the fires with gigantic bread necklaces? Is that where the fucking sensitivity comes in? See, I don't give a shit. We're all humans. We all have our ancestry and our skin differences and our background and our history differences, but we're all really the same. And that's why making fun of each other is wonderful. Excluding people and targeting people only because you want to be a bully because of their background and things, obviously that's despicable and disgusting, but having fun with all of our backgrounds and all of our goofinesses and all of our languages and all that sort of thing should be fun and should be embraced, because what separates us, joking about what separates us and joking about what stereotypes us, I believe brings us all closer together. But that's me. But Ching Tong, Tang Tong, fucking The Rock don't agree. Because these are rules for you and me and not them. It's always rules for you and me and not them. and I don't understand that. Anyway, let's go to Pulaski or Saki. By the way, Jen Psaki, wow. Jen Psaki really wants Star Trek to exist. And listen, I don't blame her. I love Star Trek to death. You know that. And I know there's donations. I'm going to play them in a minute. By the way, guys, if you like what I'm doing right now and if you like these videos, please drop a dono down below. The Streamlabs link is there. The Super Chat button is there. The links are popping through. And if you want to purchase my channel and you want to take a stab at it, send me an offer, joecroninshow@yahoo.com. I got about 60 days before I get repossessed by the IRS. Please send me the emails down below. So, that being said, Jen Psaki thinks it's Star Trek. And I love that because I love Star Trek. I mean, so this outfit, first of all, I'm just going to say, before I bash her or support her or whatever I'm about to do, you know, I just got to say, this is a wonderful dress. I love it. This is full Picard. She looks like the Borg Queen, but she's dressed like Picard. I like that savagery. I really do. I enjoy that savagery. Good job on her. Wonderful stuff. Let's hear what she has to say about censoring Spotify and censoring everybody. We're going to talk about that. Let's hear what Tim Dillon has to say since, was it Swan? I think it was Swan on Twitter who told me, Joe, Tim's already made that joke. He made it yesterday. So I was making jokes on Twitter about this exact same thing, but Tim has already made this joke, probably because we got, I don't know, I have a like-minded savagery of a mind. So let's listen to what he says about this.
On Earth now, he's completely transcended.
I believe he's talking about Joe Rogan here.
World of comedy. He's one of the most famous people on the planet. There are leaders of foreign countries tweeting about this. It is a national news story for over a week. Every day, the White House is weighing in. It is so big. And I am so incredibly jealous of this.
See? I'm jealous. I get it. I want this type of hate. Bring me this type of stuff. No, I really don't. You probably fucking kill yourself. Let's be honest. I would.
I am so incredibly jealous of this man and his ability to continually be in the news. What would I have to do to get anything on this level? I mean,
see, this is what started this, and this is what started the Twitter. This is why someone sent me this clip on Twitter. Because I was saying, what do I have to do to get this attention? Like, do I have to talk about black Jews and like all this stuff? And then somebody wrote, Joe, someone already beat you to this bit. And I said, what do you mean? And they sent me this clip. So this is what why we're talking about this. Too funny.
I mean, I have chased my whole entire shit career the type of attention that he is getting right now. And it's impossible for someone like me to get. They won't even let me get big enough to be hated and attacked. It's the one thing I've always wanted, to be threatened by the White House press secretary, to be deplatformed, to have Roxanne Gay pull her podcast off Spotify because of me. And I can't, it doesn't happen. I want Jair Bolsonaro tweeting that I'm doing the right thing. And I'm in a fit of jealous rage at this publicity. It's amazing.
See?
His ability to just keep, what should I do? I'll go out and say cancer's not real. This publicity, it's amazing. His ability to just keep, what should I do? I'll go out and say cancer's not real. Tell me what to do to get this level of publicity. I'll say AIDS was good. Tell me what to do. I'll say being gay is a choice. I'll say abortion, people that have them should be hung in a public square. What can I do? I don't even think it's that fucking controversial to say that the vaccines didn't work that well. But that's, I guess, the ticket.
Yeah.
That's what draws you the ire of all of civilization.
So when I made that joke on Twitter that, what do I got to do to get this attention? I'll put black. I can't even say what I said on Twitter. I feel like I was like, I'll put babies in a box and like burn them alive and like all these things. Someone's like, dude, I heard this song by Tim already. I'll say AIDS was good. Oh my God, bro. I'm going to pass out. But anyway, let's go to what Saki says. So the whole thing over Saki. Let's hear what Jen Psaki says. Because everyone's saying that she is threatening Spotify to have them, tighten up their whatever the fuck. But let's hear what Jen Psaki has to say. And I'm kind of gonna take both sides on this a little bit. Let me watch this.
On MSNBC about Joe Rogan's vaccine comments on Spotify, and he said that tech companies have an important role to play in stopping misinformation.
I think MSNBC has a big role to play. Who the fuck is MSNBC? Who the fuck is MSNBC to tell anybody else what they need to censor? You're telling me MSNBC is worried? Wait a minute. MSNBC is worried about misinformation? Wait a minute. That's how the fucking question started. That's how the question started. Tell us, MSNBC is worried about misinformation from Spotify and all these places. How the fucking hell can MSNBC be worried about misinformation? They are misinformation. Their fucking whole channel is misinformation. I mean, am I not wrong? Why would Joe Rogan be canceled for his Planet of the Apes comment, but all of these people who did this in the late 90s, early 2000s, not be banned for doing these things? They all have shows. Jimmy Kimmel's still on the air, from what I understand. Why is Jimmy Kimmel still on the air? He apologized for this, and he's on the air, but they want Joe Rogan off the air. Why is that? Oh, could it be because the election's coming up and he's not going to push the side they want? He's going to push your own decisions? Make your own decision, Joe Rogan said. You ever notice they kill all the good people? Jesus was like, love each other, dead. Lenin, peace, love, world peace, dead. Martin Luther King, I have a dream that one day, dead. You ever notice that? Think about that. All of the people that tell you to live in peace and live together in happiness, all killed in horrific ways. Martin Luther King, assassinated, right? JFK, assassinated. JFK, hey, Mr. President, we want to bomb Florida and say Cuba did it so we can go to war. No, I don't think that's a good idea. Dead. JFK dead. Jesus, love everyone. We need to love your brothers and sisters. Nailed up on a fucking cross. John Lennon. Imagine all the people living right with a fucking back of the head. Everybody dead. John Lennon. Fucking Martin Luther King. Jesus. The fucking list goes on. JFK. Try to love and live. Dead. But all the people who are hateful motherfucking crazy people, George Bush, still alive. Makes you wonder why they wrote the Patriot Act a few years before 9/11. Doesn't it make you wonder just a little bit? But yeah, MSNBC, they tell the truth all the time. Oh my God. They always tell the truth. I am shocked beyond belief that they would say that sort of thing. That they would like that people. That's a news story. It's a news story that MSNBC would say the right, would do and say the right thing. Like that MSNBC would be like, everybody else needs to stop spreading misinformation. But do you have to stop spreading misinformation? Because you're spreading misinformation. So why does everybody else have to stop spreading information? You don't have to stop spreading misinformation. There's countless examples of you spreading misinformation. And you don't have to stop. And Neil Young is, I'm going to take my music off of Spotify. Neil Young, didn't you sell your music to a huge corporation that's evil that burns down the rainforest? They literally burned down the fucking rainforest. And you sold your fucking music to them. And you're telling everybody else how virtuous you are. You're an asshole. Just like everybody else. You're a lying douchebag asshole. Just like almost everybody else. And, you know, anybody that pretends to be that virtuous, it's like, dude, there's something wrong with them. Well, there it is. They feel guilty about what they do. So they project, like, how can I feel better about the bad things that I do? Well, this is how I'll do it. And it just perpetuates over and over and on until the end of time. It's kind of like when this stupid bitch goes to a fucking children's school, takes a photo with them while she doesn't wear a mask. I don't even know who this dumb bitch is. Get those masks off those kids, you fucking cunt. If this is real. If this is not photoshopped and this is a real image, because I don't even know if I believe this is this hypocritical. I can't believe this is real. Please tell me it's photoshopped. A bunch of children wearing masks and her fucking fat ass sitting there like, fuck her. If that's real. It's got to be fake, right? It can't be real that person is really sitting there like, oh, you know, I don't believe it's real. It can't be. Someone prove it to me. I'd like to know. Oh, wait a minute, guys. MSNBC wants to make sure Spotify and every radio show in the world besides them is being accurate, isn't telling us lies about things. How dare you have a conversation with somebody with a microphone, have a conversation, and that's misinformation. Oh, but MSNBC, tell us something. Here they are.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
Oh, that's a lie. Now we know. No, we never knew that. No one ever knew that. You fucking mongoloid robot cunt bitch thing. You evil devil thing. You Gumby-looking fucking criminal fucking devil fucking gargoyle. That's never been real. That's never been true. That is not true. You just lied. That's misinformation. But you're actually the news telling people what to think. This isn't a conversation with two people and then the third person listening can decide what they think is real or not. No, this is you preaching, telling people something. No, we don't know that. That's a lie.
Work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus. The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
You can look at what's his face. You can pretend all you want that that's how science works. That's not how it works. That's not how the science works. That's not how they work. We know that to be true. We know that's not true. We know that it could limit it. It could limit your infection rate and stuff like that, and it could slow it. Or in some cases, it could help limit the spread time. But this is not true, what you just said on MSNBC. That's not true. You just spread misinformation. But you're the one saying that you need to, that the White House needs to worry about everybody else being accurate and being factual. Am I fucking crazy? Now let's go to Pulaski. Let's go to fucking sake. Let's have some sake with everyone's favorite redhead. Let's see what she says. I can't believe this is the White House, for real.
Because they are the predominant places where misinformation spreads. Does the White House and the administration think this is a satisfactory step?
Our hope is that all major tech platforms and all major news sources, for that matter, be responsible and be vigilant to ensure the American people have access to accurate information on something as significant as COVID-19. That certainly includes Spotify. So this disclaimer...
Spotify, she doesn't even know what it is, so that's okay.
It's a positive step, but we want every platform to continue doing more to call out mis and disinformation while also uplifting accurate information. It's a positive step, but there's more that can be.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that, but not really, because see, like, the way I had heard it is that she called out Spotify to say, like, we want Spotify to do more. That's what I heard. And I was like, oh, shit, they want Spotify to do more? But that question was asked by MSNBC. MSNBC asked when they're going to call out for more scrutiny about Spotify. So MSNBC, the liars, want her and Joe Biden to call out the Spotifys for their misinformation. And she answered with, well, yeah, we want everybody to be accurate, including news media. So to me, this isn't a problem, really. It was MSNBC gaslighting, or MSNBC with a gotcha question like, haha, say something bad about Spotify. And she did, but she also included all news media. So they tried to set her up with that question, MSNBC, so she'd shit on Spotify probably or something. But she also did throw in there that, well, we want everybody to not have misinformation. But what does that mean? But what does that mean? What, you're not policing what the news is saying, so why are we even trying to police what Spotify and podcasts are saying? That's what I don't understand. So I don't like this. I don't like any of this because they're not doing it for the... If you're not doing it for the major real news channels that are allegedly like the real news of the world in America, like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, ABC, those places, if you're not doing it for them, I'm not even close to worried about what you're doing for Spotify and YouTube and other places. I couldn't give a shit. Start at the top, and when you get that figured out, then move down to the bottom. But she does throw everybody into the mix here.
This is a satisfactory step.
Our hope is that all major tech platforms and all major news sources, for that matter, be...
So she just said it. Our hope is that all tech platforms, yeah, and all major news media don't spread misinformation, no matter what. Now, you cannot believe her, because now she could target somebody and not target other people, which is what they normally do. But I don't have a problem with her words here, because technically she's sort of saying, like, hey, listen, everybody should be trying their best to not allow, like, growing mass misinformation to happen. But, again, my point is a podcast, having a conversation with people on a podcast, that doesn't mean misinformation is happening. And even if it does, it doesn't matter. It's a conversation with two people. If they're both wrong, who cares? It doesn't matter if they're wrong, right? It's their opinion. It's a fucking conversation in the public forum. They're allowed to happen. Unless you're a Nazi or you're some communist psycho, you're allowed to have a discussion on a podcast about things. I'm allowed to say what I think about wrestlers. I'm allowed to say what I think about news, media, whatever the fuck I want to say. And if I want to say something and it's wrong, or I want to make something up in my head and say it and it's wrong, you can make a video exposing how I'm an idiot or how I'm wrong or breaking down how I'm wrong. And if I say something that's detrimental to you and slanderous, you could sue me if you wanted to, too. That's how it works. You don't want to make up stuff that could hurt somebody because you could go to court over it. God knows I could take a lot of people to court at this point with what I've got. But the point is, you trying to censor people having a conversation is sick. But you're not censoring the news, who comes on to tell you the facts. But they're not the facts. So what's worse? Two people having a podcast and getting all the facts wrong? Or the news coming on to tell you what's going on and getting their facts wrong? What's worse? I go with the news. Number one, it's the news. Number two, it's the podcast. Seems pretty fucking obvious to me. But I guess it's not to these fucking goddamn abominations. Here comes Mr. Pico Boulevard.
Super chat party!
Oh, yeah?
Joe, if you stab people, do it in westward direction.
Okay. What the hell does that mean? If you stab people, stab them in a westward direction. Okay. Stabbing westward, I get it. I mean, that's the way to go. That's the thing, Derek Hance. It's not even Joe saying, it's the people on the show. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you're going to stop Joe Rogan from talking to people that the world doesn't agree with, or the America or the mainstream doesn't agree with, well, then you'd have to shut down every radio station ever. Every radio station ever, everything ever. There's thousands of podcasts on Spotify, on iTunes. There's thousands of iTunes podcasts where a guy sits down with a microphone, takes a call. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, I think that, Tom Brady isn't good anymore because his legs don't work well. And another thing is, I think Obama's a liar, and he's terrible because all the people he kills everywhere. Behind the scenes, he kills everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion. You certainly had a lot of drone strikes and things like that over the years. It wasn't covered very well in the mainstream media, but it's pretty well known now. How many children died because of Obama and because of those drone strikes.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing.
All right, well, there you go. There goes caller or whatever here on Top Flag America. We are WBR04. Anyway, next up, we're going to talk to a doctor who claims he's invented a way to create levitivity through magnetism. And let's go to that. It's like, but you want that show shut down. Is that misinformation? Because that show goes on 100 times a day all over the world and in America on the radio. A conversation between somebody asking questions and somebody who thinks they've got the knowledge or does have the knowledge or is an expert or isn't an expert or pretends to be an expert or is an expert or is a musician, a book writer, an opinionator, a narrative driver, whatever the case is. That goes on every day on countless amounts of radio stations every single day. Yet we don't call that misinformation. We don't shut those down for the misinformation that could be going on. So it makes no sense why Joe Rogan is shut down or trying to be shut down for that misinformation, or episodes have to disappear and things like that. Because it's the same thing. It's a conversation happens, and at the end of it, the pieces fall where they may. Doesn't make any sense to me. Thank you for the donation. We're going to talk about Samoa Joe and leaving Spotify in a minute. And then I'm going to answer your questions on Patreon, from Patreon, and then I'm going to continue recording for Patreon. But let's go. We're going to identify with Mauro Ranallo in a minute as well. There's a few things coming up here. Here's Bradley.
Super Chat Party!
Oh, yeah?
Come on, Joe buddy. Don't play it down the middle. It's about Joe Rogan because he's not coming along with the left's agenda fully.
Well, no, that is what it is. But that's what I'm saying to you is, but I'm trying to leave that part out and sort of just show you, think about this, right? I understand that. You understand that. The reason they're going after Joe Rogan is obvious, because he's got 11 million listeners per episode. He's got like 15 million listeners per episode. And he doesn't agree with the left. He's in the middle. He's an independent guy. He's not going along with the left-wing agenda. If he was going along with the left-wing agenda, he wouldn't be in trouble right now. That's obvious. We all know this. But what I'm talking about is I'm trying to break it down for the people that may not understand why, or wait a minute. Well, I'm breaking it down logically. Like, let's pretend this is an honest thing. Let's pretend they're honestly coming after him for misinformation. So what I did was, rather than point fingers at left and right, I was simply showing you that let's take a look at this, because every day the misinformation happens on every radio station ever around the whole country. You could label a conversation misinformation at any point. They've just chose to do it with Joe to target him. I understand that. You understand that. They did it with Alex Jones as well. Alex Jones did the Sandy Hook thing. 4 years later, gets taken off. Joe Rogan said the N-word stuff and, the apes comments 10 years ago or 12 years ago, and we've seen that circulated for years, yet now they decide to coordinate on it. Well, it's obvious. We understand. But I'm just trying to show you from, pretend you don't like Joe Rogan. Pretend you hate him or you don't like him or whatever. I'm just showing you how the misinformation is bogus. Just throw out the left and the right thing of it and just think about how it's a dishonest, disingenuous attack, which we all know it is, because the guy's practically a hippie. Joe Rogan's practically a fucking hippie, for Christ's sake. Most black people have come out to defend him because they know him. You know what I mean? It's like the guy made a shitty joke. You know what I mean? That was fucking fucked up, but we all would laugh at it. at least on my show, at least on this show. 45% of my audience is a minority. 45% of my audience is minority, I believe. It might even be 50 now. I don't even know. And they would laugh at that, most of you. I would say 95% of you think that stuff like that is funny. As long as it's not a actual detrimental, like, racist, thing. Let's see what Hotep Jesus has to say, because he's always sexy.
Two Joes said the N-word. Joe Biden and Joe Rogan.
That's right. Joe Biden also said the N-word. How come Joe Biden's the president?
Now, when Joe Biden said it, y'all ain't had nothing to say. Now you got Joe Rogan saying it. Now you got something to say. Well, guess what? We ain't canceling Joe Rogan. Cancel Joe Biden. How about them apples? Two Joes said the
Hotep Jesus is a fucking saint. This guy's more real than fucking goddamn the stars. All right? By the way, thanks to the $25 producers popping up on the left here, this whole stream you've been shown. Welcome back to Six, man. Thank you, Six. Skittles, bite-sized candies. He's back as well. Back to the Future 3 in his first month. Craig Dubbies, Red Poison, and everybody else, man. Shell, SITH NEGAN on his 34th or I believe month in a row. Thank you guys so much. Guzzy, Dion, and everybody else. If you guys want to become a $25 producer, now is the time. There has been no better time than now to support my channel. I'm not going to sit here and blow your assholes, but this is the time. If you ever wanted to support my channel, keep this thing going. Devontae, I could give you a list if you want on Twitter of the people that will defend him. But we'll see. Because Rogan praises black comedians and people all the time. Granted, the joke is fucked. I don't see when Rogan was like, it was supposed to be funny. It's like, I don't know how it was supposed to be funny. I know how it's supposed to be funny, but I don't know how it was like, oh, it wasn't supposed to be that bad. No, like, I get it. He was literally making a joke about, like, we got out of the car and we were in a black neighborhood. So he said, oh, it's like the Planet of the Apes out here or whatever. Like, I don't understand him saying, like, oh, it's not. I would have just said, like, dude, yeah, I told a fucked up racist joke. And I wanted to get everybody to laugh, and it was a fucking crazy joke. And I told it. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to think I am a racist for it. I'm not. I thought it was just a fucking over-the-line joke to make, and I wanted to make it. It's a comment that I thought was funny at the time, and I didn't have a problem making it. Now, if you want to call me a fucking whatever you want to call me for it, go ahead. I'm not a racist person in real life other than jokingly, and that's about it. I think I stand on my own merits about that, and if it made some people upset, I do sympathize with you that you're upset, but it's a joke, and I don't give a shit. Jokes are jokes to me, and I don't care how fucked up they are, as long as it's a joke. And to me, it was a joke, and maybe I shouldn't have said it. Maybe nowadays I would never say that joke, probably, because I grew as a person. If we went back in time and grabbed everybody at their worst, everybody'd be dead by now. We would have assassinated everybody at their worst. Every mistake, every time someone went too far, every time someone told a too far joke or a joke over the line or whatever, and maybe you grew as a person, well, if you weren't allowed to grow as a person, then you might as well just kill everybody, because everybody at some point was a worse person than they probably are now. So what, are you going to go back in time and assassinate everybody who was at their worst at one point? It doesn't make any sense. So, listen, what do I have to do to show you that I'm not, that I don't have these real feelings or bad feelings for any other race? I mean, what do I do? Kill myself live on Facebook or something? I mean, what do you want me to do? You want to torture me? Or should I, for something from 12 years ago, or should I apologize and move on and that's it? Or do I need to be tortured? I don't know. What needs to be done? A witch hunt? The Salem witch trials? Do we bring back those? I don't know what you want to do. You want to chop my dick off live on TV? Do you want to see my children eat my body? Like, do you want my fucking private parts chopped off and my kids will eat them live on the air? I mean, what do you want? What do you want to do? Should I be like Roseanne and like disappear and ruin? Like, what should I do exactly? Well, the news media keeps lying to you and calling you pets. But I made a joke years ago. Fuck off. That's what I would have said if I was Joe Rogan. I don't care what anybody says about me. I know that I fucking like everybody, and I don't have a real bias towards anything for the most part, other than our normal biases that we all have. I know that I like everybody. I know that I don't have a problem with people. You know what I have a problem with? I actually do. I have a problem with people that try to ruin people's lives and cancel them. And I have a problem with people who try to silence people. And I have a problem with people who try to stop comedy. And I have a problem with people like that. I have a problem with people who want blood for people making jokes. That's what I have a problem with. That's my problem. That's about it. If you're someone out there who gets offended and wants someone, oh my God, take him down for this. Yeah, I hope you die. That's about it. I don't care what color you are, creed you are, face you are, whatever sex you are. If you're someone out there who wants to silence people's art or silence people just for whatever, fuck off. Because there's actual evil people out there to go after, and you don't go after them, do you? So if you're in the business of going after wounded sheep, you know, like that's the people I hate. I don't like the deep state. That's what I don't like. I don't like rich cocksuckers who tell you what to do. People who tell me and you what to do. That's what I don't like. Let's go. You know, The Rock can make fun of Chinese people all day, but, you know, you can't make fun. It's just like, it's so bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Chinese. Ding dong, his stone cold eye. Ding bang, ding dong, his stone cold eye. Ding bang, ding dong, his stone cold eye. Ding bang, ding dong, his stone cold eye.
And that's hilarious, by the way. So, and you know what? I've seen Chinese people make fun of Americans, and it's funny. I saw a skit one time, and it was all in Chinese, so I don't know what they were saying. But they were making fun of Americans, and it was fucking hilarious. The guys got up on horseback like they were cowboys, and they were Chinese people, and they got up on horseback, and they were like, oh. And then the Chinese guy was like, America, yeah, and you could tell they were like making fun of patriot Americans, and they were riding with the horses with the American flag, and it was like the Old West, and then like they had all these guns. They had guns on their side, guns on their back, guns on the horse, and the guy kept shooting. It was fucking hilarious. They like shot the horse, I think, shot themselves. Maybe it wasn't China, but it was some Asian country making fun of us, and it was fucking hilarious. They shot each other, and they kept shooting each other, and then they shot the horse, and then the horse was dead, and then they were dead, and then everybody was dying because they couldn't stop accidentally shooting each other like they were stupid. They were saying like Americans are dumb cowboys, stupid people. And then at the end, as the last guy was alive, and they were laying in a puddle of blood, and everybody was dead around, and the last cowboy guy goes, "Freedom, America." I was fucking dying. I mean, yeah, part of me was laughing at them, but part of me was laughing at like that they were making fun of America. Like it was like we were dumb idiots with guns who shot each other all like 100,000 times. And it was funny that that's like how we were portrayed or whatever. I found that to be hilarious, you know? And, you know, do you remember whenever somebody does something Chinese-like in America and they go, oh, they're appropriating or whatever? How many times have we seen from Chinese people, communist China, and the people in China look at Americans who would dress up in this traditional Chinese wardrobe, and they say they find it respectful. Most of them always say they find it respectful. They go, oh, we think that's cool. They actually get excited because they think it's cool that we acknowledge their culture. Like remember the girl who had her whole wedding like China themed or ancient Chinese something, and the people in China thought it was flattering because they thought like, oh, that's sweet that that Americans would pull up our culture, and like they're not doing anything to disrespect it. They didn't think, because they were like, oh, they're married, and it was translated. You know what I mean? It was being translated. They were like, oh, it's a wedding in America. And they didn't think it was, they were like, don't you think this is disrespectful? Why are they doing this? And the people kept saying like, no, I don't think it's disrespectful. It seems like they're very nice to see them, like they're honoring us or whatever. And the person would push them like, yeah, but you know how they're like having fun with it? They have nothing to do with your, and they said, well, as long as it's respectful, it seems like it is, like it's not a problem. Like that's what they said. Like tons of people said this. So many people. It's only the psychos in this country who are fucking nuts about shit, You know what I mean? Now, if they dressed up like that and they were like running around going, oh, like, or some weird shit, like, then you could see, like, okay, that's kind of mocking their culture. That's a little weird. And even then, I mean, who cares anyway? But that just makes you look like stupid, you know, or like shit. You know what I mean? That you're mocking someone like that. But they weren't doing that. You know, so it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, China owns everybody anyway, so they own all of us.
Oh, yeah, we got a new subscriber, yeah.
Ramit.
Freak out.
Taneha, thanks very much for subbing. I wish I knew what country your name originates from, and I could pronounce this correctly. If this is a Arabic name, Ramit, it might be Tunisia. But if this is a more of a Hispanic name, which I don't think it is, but if it was, it'd be Taneja, right? Or if it's Brazilian. So I think this is Ramit, let me know what your name, where you're from, so I can figure out how to really say your name. But you know, next time, can you just get an American name and call yourself Dave or like Bill or something like that? I mean, really? I think it's Tunisia. But let me know. The Rock is a Democratic puppet now, says Devontae. You know, I don't know, man. I think he's an independent guy still, but I think he does follow that Hollywood elitist, robotic, you know, vibe.
Looks like my little lass needs a shaving.
Robbie Hyde, what's up, Robbie?
My dear Joe, I had a fellow baseball YouTuber with a decent following come after me on Twitter about a down the middle / see both sides opinion I had. We used to be cool, but like you've said before, a lot of these guys show true colors. They just want clout.
Yeah, Robbie, you got to be careful, man. You know what it is? You got to remember that you probably have an alpha personality. A lot of us have alpha personalities, artistic personalities, alpha personalities. Everybody's got a vibe for entertainment. You're on YouTube. You know what I mean? People get jealous of everybody. People get paranoid. So, yeah, man, I'm sorry, bro. I swear to God, you can trust me, though. I love you, dude. But, you're going to have trouble with people. It's be the biggest beast you can be on your own, and then choose carefully who to do a crossover with, you know, but be careful about it. Because we all have alpha personalities, usually. You know what I mean? And that always leads to a problem. Like a lot of times in a band, there'll be one alpha or there'll be two alphas. If there's two alphas in a band, you know that band's going to break up eventually. You know what I mean? It's like Pink Floyd. Roger Waters was an alpha, and David Gilmour was an alpha. Now, I know the other guys are in the band had their opinions too, but those are your two alphas. The band broke up because of David Gilmour and Roger Waters were alphas. Now, if the band was just David Gilmour and there was no Roger Waters and there was a bassist called Clyde, Pink Floyd would have never broken up at all or never lost any members because they would just keep going because David Gilmour would be the alpha. Other people would give their suggestions and David Gilmour would maybe let somebody have a little piece of the carrot every once in a while, but he would essentially be driving the band, right? There would be no one else to start a shitstorm or be so creative that they were going to go their own way with it. So you have to be careful of alpha. That's why several, in the past, we've all had problems with things, and podcasters and radio shows have problems because mostly they're all alphas. You know, I tend to be an alpha. I don't know if I like that because I don't feel like an alpha. I am a little bit, though. I am an alpha. It's true that I definitely am one. I don't feel like one because off of YouTube, I'm way more subtle and gentle and empathetic and stuff like that. But when I get on here, I get wild, you know, and I get very like, my life is on the line with this show. Hell, my life could be over in the next 60 days. You know what I mean? These might be the last broadcasts of Joe Cronin. You know what I mean? With the way that you know what I mean? If I don't raise enough money in the next 60 days, which is why I am selling my channel if someone offers me the right amount. But you got to email me the right amount and it's got to be real. Somewhere between 10 and 60,000, but really it'd be up probably a little bit higher. Channel's worth at least 20 grand in my opinion. But you know, I will do that for my family, for my house. And if I have to work 2 other jobs and start over on a new channel, you know, that's what I'm going to do. You know, we'll see what happens. But, you know, the right bidder, the right investor has to come along, and, you know what I mean? I haven't made any secret about it that my channel is for sale. But we'll see what happens. You know, I mean, what do? I'm Happy Gilmore. I'm fucking Happy Gilmore, but there's no PGA golf tournament for me. Where's my tournament? How do I raise the money? You know what I mean? I got 60 days before this fucking shit goes on auction, so let's go. I don't know what to tell you guys. I also got a big health thing that's going on, and I can't even talk about it. I have something else that's going on I can't talk about. I have several things that are going on that I can't talk about, and I got to keep it ambiguous because you can't talk about it or you just can't talk about it. I can't even talk about this, really, but it's for sale. Email me, joecronshow@yahoo.com. What was I saying? Fuck. I had something important to say, and I fucking fucked it up. I was on a roll with it. Let me go back and let me hear what I was saying real quick. What was I saying? This beast you can be on your own. And then, alphas. I was talking about alphas. I am a little bit, though. I am an alpha. There's no, it's true. So I was talking about alphas. Yeah, so Robbie Hyde, you may have that problem, Robbie. You may definitely have that problem when it comes to alphas. Alphas want to control their art and their family and, you know, their work and what they're doing, and, you know, and things like that. And so that's what alphas, you know, typically do. So if you have 3 alphas in the band can break up. You know, that's why System of a Down had Serge and Tonkin and the guitar player who also sang, he was like an alpha, probably an opinionated guy. Serge was an alpha, opinionated guy, creatively. So you run into these alphas, you know, and it happens. Imagine if WWE will buy the Joe Cronin show. WWE, if you buy me, there's only a couple more haters you got to take out. WWE. So WWE, make me an offer, you'll get rid of me. You know what I mean? Can you imagine WWE buys the Joe Cronin show, and then hires a new person who does wrestling news, and he takes over, and now it's called Joe on Wrestling, and they hire a guy named Joe, and they call it Joe on Wrestling, and his first video is like, why the WWE is so great this week in WWE, and it's just a big front to, like, you know, and then they buy another channel, and they just try to, buy out all the people who talk shit about them. That's a fucking genius idea. You know, WWE, for all the billions of dollars you made, I bet you guys could buy me out for not a lot. Can you imagine? WWE could silence me for $200,000. $200,000, I'm out of here, right? I'd sell out. You could probably buy JD for about $1 million. $1 million bucks. And a job as a writer, but you never really use them. You just hire him for 5 years as a writer, give him $100K a year, give him $1 million for his channel to be taken out. A couple other guys after that, you're done. You got rid of just about everybody who's the most highest reaching haters. I mean, I got 60 million views. Actually, I almost have 70 million views if you looked at all the videos that have been down. I'm almost at 70 million views. That guy's at about 150 million views. If you take out me, that's probably 60 million hate fucking minutes. You know? God damn, man, you could take me out. It's a good fucking idea. Hit me up, WWE. I mean, I will continue on Patreon, and I will continue with a secondary channel, probably. I'm sure there'd be a clause in there where I couldn't come back for 90 days, and I can't use my name anymore or something like that. You know, I'd have to be wrestling guy or whatever, but I'm sure we could work something out. You know? And you'd be helping a guy with 3 kids. I mean, what's to lose, WWE? Send me the offer.
Looks like my little lass needs a shaving.
History time.
Okay.
South African apartheid was between 1948 and 1994. The white European oppressed the native people and enforced unequal and barbaric laws against them.
Oh.
Eventually a movement led by Nelson Mandela was able to overthrow those
bitch-ass colonialists. That's one I did know. Black Power History Month. That's one I did know. But in honor of you, Black Power History Month, I always enjoyed this. I've heard this story before, but I did tweet it out the other day. I always like this one. In 1969, when black Americans were prevented from swimming alongside whites, can you guys even believe that this was just like 10 years before the movie Ghostbusters almost? That black African Americans weren't able to swim with white people? Do you know how weird that is to all of us? We are so far beyond that at this point. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget how much different we are now than we were then. I don't care how much the government and people try to divide you and us and tell us that everyone's an evil, like racism everywhere. Nowhere near what it was. Nowhere near at all what it was. Absolutely nowhere near it. In 1969, black Americans were prevented from swimming alongside whites. Mr. Rogers decided to invite Officer Clemens to join him and cool his feet in a pool, breaking a well-known color barrier. Black History Month. There you go. There's no barriers. Fucking black, white. There's no barrier. We're all fucking humans. It's the stupidest thing. If I come inside of fucking goddamn fucking Rihanna, a baby's coming out, probably. If I shoot my load inside of Zoe Saldana, a fucking baby is coming out. We were made to mate. We were made to breed. We were made of the same things. Tribalism of you can't swim in the pool with us is so goofy to all of us at this point. It's hilarious to think about. This is actually hilarious to think about and sad to think about. But hey, Mr. Rogers was the shit. So I think a lot of people knew the Nelson Mandela one you just threw out there. So hey, there's one that's a little bit funner, you know what I mean? And black people, I think the bigger problem is, that they can't swim. That's the real no, I'm just Waffles, thank you for that in the chat. That's a great one. That's a great racist joke. Appreciate that.
I'm coming for you.
Thank you. But no, and white people smell like wet dog, and you can't swim. So you put them together, and we got fucking Fido. Let's go. What do you know?
For the first time in history, it's gonna start raining men.
Oh my God!
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna let myself get absolutely soaking wet. It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Every specimen in tall, dark, long, lean, rough and tough and strong and free. God bless you. God bless Mother Nature. God bless you, Mother Nature. 'Cause it's raining men and I'm wet and I'm
Remember when I said I'm gonna kill you, John? Misinformation.
Oh, yeah, you liar. Mickey K9. Mickey K9 coming down the aisle. Dude, I love that Paddington Bear outfit that Seth Rollins has. Mickey K9, thank you, bro. That is definitely the largest dono of the stream so far, which certainly is not going to get my my life saved, but it could. You know what's funny is I'm about to own my car. I could end up giving it to Uncle Sam. Can you imagine that? I pay the car payments. Remember when JD said I don't make my car payments? I actually made my car payments, and I own my car. In 2 months, I'm going to own my car, and it'll be worth $13,000. It'll probably be repoed. Imagine that. Oh my God, dude, that would be. I don't even know. I might video it if it happened. Like, look at this. Remember? And then Cody Rhodes ended racism. Yeah, a lot of people do say that a lot. There's your top dono. A lot of people do say that the Cody ended racism. Yeah. Well, is that because he says that, or does he really say that? I've heard that joke a lot. But that's because he's like, our baby's a mixed baby. And we broke these barriers down. It's like, hey, Cody, white and black people have been hooking up since, like, a long time, bro. Pretty sure it happened back in the day, like, slaves fell in love with people, like stuff like that. Masters, like, children of slave owners fell in love with the slave. Like, I'm sure that that's been going on since the beginning of time, Cody. You know? And even when it wasn't looked on as, it was looked on as taboo, you know, people started doing that. And then when it wasn't taboo anymore by like the 90s, you know, a lot of people hooked up, had babies in the 90s. Tons of babies. How do you think Rastaf's here? Rastaf's mixed race. He's like fucking 20-something. He's almost 30. If he's not 30, you're not the first one, Cody. I'm sorry. Our baby is the first. We're breaking down barriers. No, you're not. You're not breaking down barriers. It is beautiful. Your baby is beautiful, and God, you know, bless his little heart and your little dog, whatever. We love it, you know, but it's not special. It's not more special than anybody else who's a mixed race who's having a baby. I think that's what people are saying. Okay, I understand that then. If that's what you're saying, I get it. That's what you're saying. I understand that. Furries would find the term human power offensive, says Eric. Yeah, there are a lot of psycho furries. And we know that when I've mentioned it on my channel, they've gone after me for showing them. Why are they so embarrassed? What's wrong with me showing you as a furry? I don't understand, but they come after me. I mean, it's crazy. Cease and desist letters, court threats, you know, threats to take me out. All because what? I showed you dressed up as a fucking bunny? Don't do it then. If you don't want people to talk about it, I didn't disparage you. I just said, what the fuck is this? That's all I said. What are you doing? How do I get involved in it? I want to dress up as a fucking bunny. How do I do it? Why can't I do that? I'm not allowed to quite ask, like, what is this? Like, maybe I'll do it. You know? But no, you're not supposed to do that, I guess. You know, I was trying to be inclusive and show everybody, look at the people that dress up like bunnies. Aren't they sweet? You know, maybe we should do it. But no. We're going to go to the Patreon questions in just a second, but I mean, just, you know, what the fuck? I just had questions. That's all. Thank you, Mickey K9.
Looks like my little lass needs a shaving.
I love Brandy.
Hey, what's up? Joe, how it going? Since we are on the topic about politicians, I think you would laugh if you looked up on YouTube top highlight presidential debate moments between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. It's hilarious to look back at 2016.
You know, Deb A's solar panels, thank you. I think we have done that, though. I could do that, and maybe I will. I really enjoyed watching Trump shit on Jeb Bush. Like, that's the best stuff I've ever seen, is the Republicans getting buried by Trump because they were so stupid, and Trump just buried them. I thought that was hilarious. And I'm sure Bernie Sanders and Hillary would be funny, but it's not funny that it got rigged against Bernie. They stole it from Bernie, and nobody cares.
Super Chat Party!
Oh, yeah?
You have the WH actively attempting to limit free speech by strong-arming Spotify. Clear violation of the Constitution. Look at his look how he looks.
Look at his look how he looks. Bradley S., thank you for the $5. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think this is a scary... Why is the White House even speaking about Spotify or any of the social media stuff? We've never seen that before. You know, it seems like when Trump was president, he went after CNN and the news media, and when Biden's president, he goes after social media. It's interesting. Think about that.
Super Chat Party!
Oh, yeah?
Saki versus Leah in Redhead's bra and panties match.
Saki versus Leah in a bra and panties match. I'm not sure who would win that. Jeb was a joke. Let me look up Jen Psaki and see if I can find any hot photos of her. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to find her, like, sexiest photo. Does anybody have the sexiest Jen Psaki photo? Because it's hard to find one, to me. I think she's kind of pretty in a way because she's a redhead, so I like redheads, but, like, I'm trying to... I don't know, man. I can't tell. Like someone has to find me like where's the photo with her, like at the beach, you know, that sort of thing. Find me the Jen Psaki at the beach. Okay, because find me her at the beach. And then I could maybe, you know, attempt to find, you know, the Leah picture that I would use. Because right now, I don't know. I can't think of it. I don't know. Jen Psaki versus Leah. I think Leah's. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt since this girl, we don't have like a bikini photo of her. You know? So I'm trying to find like a picture of Leah where she's not really like in a bikini either. I'm going with my wife, bro. 100%. I mean, I don't know. She's not, you know, Leah's not in a, you know, showing any real skin here. So I guess this might be fair. I don't know. They're about the same age. Are they? I don't know how old she is. She's got to be older than Leah, right? She's got to be like older. So that's not fair. We got to find a picture of her when she was like, you know, Leah's age. She's probably like 40 something. Yeah, she's 43, bro. So this ain't fair. You know, my wife's 30 something there, and she's probably 40 in this picture. So there's a 10-year age difference. That ain't fair. You know? So we got to find that. If we can find that photo of Jen Psaki from 10 years ago at the beach. I'm just kidding. Who the fuck would even do that? I'm just fucking with you. Just trying to entertain you. I don't know. You think I like? Let's have a contest. My wife versus Jen Psaki. I think Leah would club her to death. But they'd be friends, probably. Maybe. I don't know. Troy earlier sent me this hilarious video of this guy basically talking about how just of a horrible, like, February is the worst month of the year, and it is. It's one of the most dreary, dead, horrible days of the year, and it reminded me of the videos I used to make when I was in high school, making fun of high school and making fun of, like, the egg drop and the science experiments and the labs. And it's funny because it's me making fun of the whole thing, but they allowed me to air it because they didn't even know, and it aired on TV. Probably like 100 people saw it, but it was like, they were like, oh, you're going to cover the science fair. So I did cover the science fair, but I covered the science fair like an asshole. And I'm like, here we are at another table with a couple of people here, and so tell me about what your science project is, you know. And then the guy's like, oh, it's a race car, you know. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see it in action. And then like the guy tried to make it work, and then it like drove into the wall, you know. And I'd be like, wow, that looks like it's gonna not win, probably, you know, like stuff like that. It was like Conan or something. And this guy reminds me of that when Troy sent me this guy's video. But I didn't think the video was that funny, but it was kind of funny. But then it's all set up at the last 30 seconds. Listen to this.
In the way people walk and how they look. Let's go just check out February. This says it all. This has a spring-like or floral pattern on it, but somebody on this February day has abandoned it with its broken shaft, like a desperate flinging off of something that's not true anymore. The expedition is getting desperate. People are throwing things aside.
Look around downtown on a February workday. This looks like a place where people who are being punished are sent. If you notice the way people cross the street in February, it's different than in the summer. Nobody is tap dancing or breaking into a Rodgers and Hammerstein song. It's their lunch hour, and they're just barely able to get across the street and hunker over a bowl of chili. Carbohydrates are big this time of year. Also, lotions, because everybody is itchy and tired and irritable. So he goes on and on, but this last line right here about what his father once told him, this is fucking great. Listen to this.
With another holiday, Ash Wednesday. What other month could host a holiday that's designed to remind us that we're all going to die?
And by the way, this type of comedy, this is also like my type of comedy that I just love. This type of like the news reporter mocking what's going on. Like I said, this reminds me of going to Rhode Island and standing outside the place and being like, I'm standing in front of a giant sex device, you know, that sort of thing, and just shitting on the whole thing. This is definitely up my alley. I love this fucking guy. This is funny.
That's February for you. Holiday that's designed to... What other month could host a holiday that's designed to remind us that we're all going to die? That's February for you. It is bleak, it is honest, and it just tells you the way it really is. My father used to have a saying that if you can live through February, you'll live another year.
Oh my God, dude, that is fucking hilarious. I almost died. My father used to tell me, if you can live through February, you'll live another year.
My father used to have a saying that if you can live through February, you'll live another year.
It's the way he delivers it. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro. I love that sort of news reporter, like, sarcasm. That has always been my favorite thing ever. I think it's one of the reasons, too, that I've always liked Cronin, because I just love that sarcastic asshole type of thing. Getting Gene Oakland to say, holy balls are, you know? I just love that style.
You said that right.
What's up, wrestling fans? It's Joe Cronin. That was it. That was the Fan Fest at the Rhode Island Convention Center. All the wrestling legends were there. We got most of them, and I even got interviewed by another wrestling podcast, so shout out to those guys. We're standing in front of the Rhode Island Convention Center, and we had a great time. It's a huge building. We're also standing next to a gigantic sexual device that can be used on women who are giants, apparently. Like, what the hell kind of dildo is this thing? Like, what do you do with this thing? Does it go in? Does it go out? Does it go around? What is this? Leah, do you know what this is? Leah, rub up on this and see if it works. Well, anyway, this is Joe Cronin signing off from Adult Sex Toys Rhode Island, and we'll see you next time at FanFest 6. I just always like that over-the-top type of reporter mocking everything that's going on at the event. But what I like about this guy is he's so dry and serious. Like, he's not being over the top and silly. Like, look at your poopy. You know, he's like, my father had a saying, you know, if you live through February, you know, you'll live another year. Like, the fact that how dry he tells it and talks is fucking hilarious. And that always makes me crack up. You know? That always cracks me up. At FanFest in Rhode Island, Providence. Fans have already started to pack in here. It started at 10 a.m., doors opened at 10 a.m., and we're standing right in the middle of all the action. Wrestling figures, wrestlers, celebrities, UFC, everything smelly here Rhode Island today people. FanFest in Providence, Rhode Island. Hey, what's up, wrestling fans? I'm here with former WWE referee Jimmy Corderas. Jimmy, this is great to see you here.
Oh, great to be here.
Now, you guys are auctioning off a... Jimmy who never sold his shirt. Because he thought, Jimmy, like a moron, thought that you could sell a even though it's a WrestleMania worn referee shirt, which I agree. That shirt is worth about $5,000 to $50,000 probably. That is the shirt worn on the pay-per-view by him as the referee. That's worth a lot of money. At least $500, but I think it's worth $5,000 to $50,000. I think that's worth at least $5,000. I really believe that. Now, Jimmy made a mistake, though, because fucking stupid Jimmy came to Rhode Island and started the bidding, I think, at like $500. And I said, Jimmy, you're starting the bidding at $500? These people don't have $50. All right? This is fucking Providence, Rhode Island. Okay? This thing isn't going to sell. Nobody's going to bid on it. Maybe you'll get lucky and one guy here actually has a job and he might buy it for $500 and he'll win the first bid, the only bid. So I think you should put it up on eBay and let it go for like a couple of grand. Why in the world? Or like go or do this auction in like Wisconsin, or do this auction in Massachusetts somewhere, or do this auction in New York, or do this auction anywhere, Florida, where the retirees are who have got money. You're doing it in fucking Providence, Rhode Island? These people would suck a dick for heat What the fuck are you doing?
Pretty rare, especially considering I wore it at WrestleMania 24.
You're damn right. It's worth a lot of money on eBay, but not here in front of these fucking people.
Happens to be the picture on the cover.
Oh my goodness! It's
Well, what if you're lying? I don't even believe that. And your fucking cover, the picture on your book looks like shit.
that very shirt is getting auctioned off today. If I known, I would have, I would have brought more money because it would be great to on the show just always wear a Jimmy Corderas referee shirt.
Imagine that if I had bought it. If I had the money. I mean, back then I didn't have the money. Then a couple of years later I did have the money. Now I don't have the money again. But if I did have the money, it would have been really cool if I had bought that shirt. And I'd wear it all the time. Be like, I'm wearing it. The WrestleMania shirt from 24, I don't know. I just think that Jimmy Corderas, it is worth that much. But it's not worth that much when you're in a place that can't afford it.
Depends on what time of day you catch them.
Holy balls, then.
You probably shoplift in your spare time. You look like that.
You know what, Jim Cornette? You look like you let your wife watch you fuck people in your spare time.
You probably shoplift in your spare time. You look like that.
The best thing about this booth isn't the figures; it's the fucking Jaws shirt that the guy's wearing.
If anybody knows that somebody's father was busy on the weekend, he was like, he's doing his regular lawn mowing job, this guy. He was like, oh, I'm cutting lawns and I'm trying to make ends meet, But then he's like, the kids are like, on Sunday, are you going to be around, Dad? We haven't seen you in 5 days. Are you going to be around? No, I got to go to the fucking wrestling booth. Okay, Dad. All right, Dad. He sold 5 figures that day. That was probably worth it, right? Missing out on your kids for an 8th day in a row to sell a couple of Sid Justice dolls. Why not?
And look at his look! How he looks!
Oh shit, look at his look.
Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, he looks like a crook. Look at him, look like he looks.
Oh!
Look at his look, that he looks. Look what he looks like a crook. I'm coming for you, crook in the nook. I'm coming for you, I look like a crook.
And look at his look! How he looks!
Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, you get shook. Look at his look, you getting shook. Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, he looks like a crook. Look at his look, you getting kind of shook. Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, you get shook.
Just got in. Did you see the Raw Zero Fist video I told you about?
Yeah, you know what? I watched it. It reminded me of the mockery that I was doing about all the wrestling channel things. Like, and today Vince McMahon has decided that he's going to like. I've already done that in my head. So like, it basically was like something that I already kind of like thought was funny. My back is fucking itching the fuck out of me. So yeah, no, I did see it. I actually didn't watch all of it. I couldn't go that far into it because I was just like, yeah, I know all this. But it was funny and it was like really good. I like that guy's channel. I might get into it. But he really did. I thought he was gonna like make more fun of all the YouTuber people, but he didn't quite get into it as much as I thought he would. He more or less tried to just do it. But it was a really good video. I just I don't know. It didn't. I thought he was gonna be more savage to everybody, and maybe I missed something. Let's check out Mauro Ranallo explain. Basically tell you about my mental illness and his mental illness all in one breath right here on with fucking Sam Carrot Head.
In this doc, what mental illness looks like, and it's the invisible illness. We're not in a wheelchair. I'm not on crutches. People have this. It's all about the stigma.
It's called being a pussy. Okay.
Snap out of it. You're just lazy, or you just look.
Same thing happens to me though. Listen, I know exactly what he's saying here. I get it. This happens to me. Like, I swear to God to you, I am so much more like Mauro Ranallo. That's why I bring this up, because yesterday somebody was like, Joe, it really wasn't funny, you making that video or whatever. And I'm like, it was funny to me, and if it's not funny to you, I don't know what to tell you. But also, I do sympathize with Mauro. I'm a lot like Mauro. I have something wrong with me, bipolar-wise and other things. I got something majorly wrong with me. I have sadness, depression, anxiety attacks. I do the same thing. It's hard for me to function. I get it. Dude, I only make fun of it because I know it so well. You know what I mean? So it's a funny joke, and it's funny when I do it. But no, I do sympathize with the guy. It's fucking awful, of course. Because if the guy didn't have problems, he'd show up to all the wrestling things. He'd show up to all the things. He'd do his profession and have no problem. It's sad that he has to suffer through trying to do the thing he loves. I totally get it. What's up with this, though? Is he trying to say stick it in my hand?
Looking for attention. Well, here you go. This is what it looks like. Am I looking for attention, or am I suffering human being at times?
Right.
And that's where I want to just make it okay to not be okay.
It's not just looking for attention, because there's times where, like, I deal with my own nonsense.
Sure.
We all do. But when you're dealing with it alone, like you're by yourself, right, and you're thinking like life is good, I got to jump off the balcony.
Yeah.
It's crazy thinking.
Jim, alone in a crowd, I can be, and this is it. Like this, Linus had his blanket, these headphones, this microphone. Even though it's antithetical to what most people would say, because public speaking after death, the thing people are afraid of, or being on camera, this is my security blanket. And so for me, even the moment I take it off, and people milling about backstage, or people coming up, hey man, big fan, I'm immediately, oh my God, and there's this sense of jubilation because, wow, you get to call the biggest fights. And look at TakeOver New Orleans, man.
Called being autistic.
One of the greatest events ever.
Yeah.
I should have been riding that high forever. Instead, not even moments later, I'm like, oh God, I'm a fraud. Oh shit, they're gonna fire me, or
See through me, yeah.
It's unbelievable. And
which is especially
that's why.
It's especially unbelievable because you go over like all the shots that you've gotten, and the fact that even like you talk about TakeOver in WWE.
The last year's been ridiculous, my man. Klitschko and Joshua in front of 90,000 at Wembley. Mayweather McGregor, second biggest pay-per-view ever. AJ Styles, John Cena, 2017 match of the year. They all so. Without the condition, without the illness, the career from literally growing up on a dead-end road in a farm in.
So I get Mauro Ranallo there, because that's many times how I feel. I heard this earlier when somebody said to me that like my video was mean or whatever, and I heard this video earlier and I was like, yeah, but he's so right. I have no idea what I'm doing in my real life. Every job I've ever had, every direction I've ever tried to go, I don't know what the hell to do. You know what I mean? This feels right. This feels nice. I want to call wrestling. I can't even call wrestling. That's what I would say is people, make fun of Mauro. Well, at least Mauro gets to do it. I don't really get to do it. I only get to do it sometimes at wrestling independent shows. I'll never get to do it. I would rather be Mauro, where I suffer after it's over, but I get to do the thing that you love to the highest point, as opposed to where I am, which is I don't get to do that thing, really, in the highest level. You know what I mean? Imagine how fucked up Mauro would be if he didn't do it on a high level and he did it on a low level or a small radio station or a small YouTube channel like me. And, you had pretty good success with a small audience like I do. You guys are great. I have a pretty big, lower middle-sized audience. Like, can you imagine what would Mauro do then? I don't know what he'd do. I don't know. I don't know what anybody does. But yeah, this is the comfort. Fuck, I've had this mic 8 years, Devontae. This mic is 8 years old now. It's crazy. This is a Shure SM7B. If you can't spend the money on the Shure SM7B, just get the BP the BP40. I think this is the 40. Is this the BP40? Yeah, it's the BP40. I busted the mic a little bit here, so it's funny shaped, but it should be straight normally. But it still sounds great. This is one of the best noise-canceling, booming-sounding microphones, the BP40. So, yeah, if you can't get the Shure, get the BP40. It's going. Madden 22 has the same problems 21 and all the Maddens before it. Oh yeah, what's that problem? I mean, there's a lot of problems, but I mean, like, what's the main one? Thank you, Gerald Armstrong, for that $5. Let me go over to the Patreon questions. As you look at the Patreons who are $25 producers and above, scrolling on your screen right now. Gerald Armstrong, I did see your question about Razor Fists video. Thank you, sir. Mr. Pico Boulevard says, have Mikkel call the sex line. That's interesting. Amanda Greenold says, are you still working? Yes, I am, sort of, but not at all the places I used to be. There's one thing I got coming up. But yeah, I'm still doing double. I'm still doing this and an outside thing, yeah. Parker says, what is one of your all-time favorite funny songs you've recorded on the show? I don't know. My favorite songs I've recorded on the show would probably be, I don't know, Blumpkin. That's a weird song. Blumpkin Cunt Pussy Juice. Probably that one. I don't know, though. It's probably a couple that I can't think of right now in my head, but... I didn't make the music for that one, though. Most of them I just sing over something that I purchased. I only make the music for, I think, 20%. 20% of any song I ever put out was mine, but I think 80 to 90% of the songs are, I mean, the lyrics are mine, but only about 10 or 15% of the backtrack is me. But I don't think that's what you were asking. You were just asking about what's your favorite song. I don't care. This is a really, really good question from Logan Harrison. This is an amazing question. What tech do you see within the next 10 years? Now, that's a podcast all in of itself. We could do a whole podcast on all the tech that's coming in the next 10 years. And potentially, I will do a podcast on that because of your question if I can. I will try to get a hold of Jesse, me, and maybe a couple of other people that want to speak on that. Whoever I can to come on and talk about that. We can do a big podcast on that. But, Ryback Rap is a good one. I like the Ryback Rap. This is the Ryback Rap. I think Ryback Rap might be one of my favorites. But, yeah, what tech is coming? So, rather than get into all the tech right now, because I don't know if I could bring it all up right now, let me tell you about one prediction I do have. Because the last time I told you about a prediction was like 5 years ago. And I had a prediction that we'd all be shopping online in the virtual reality, and it would come to the door instantly. And you'd be shopping virtually, feeling like you're really in all these amazing stores, but the stuff shows up at your door like right away in physical world. And essentially that's been announced as the metaverse. So that was 5 years ago. So now let me give you the next thing that I believe is a huge business. And potentially funeral homes or things like that will jump on board with these things. Now, if I'm never going to be able to do this, because if I was, I wouldn't tell you about it. I would just get going on it right now. But I would need somebody who's good at programming, deep fakes, computer simulations, and phone apps, and virtual reality. I need to get people in the tech business all together in one room, and I have so many ideas about this, but it's probably already underway with some other company right now that I don't know about. And it will be memorializing the people you love forever in a computer system. Now, certainly going forward, it would be about memorializing people you love in the physical realm, where you could have Uncle John, who loved to play piano, sitting down at the piano, his body 3D printed, so to speak, right? Like, you're not doing taxidermy. You don't want the real person sitting in your living room. That's creepy. But 3D printing grandpa and putting him in his favorite spot at the piano so you could relive it. Now, that's something that's a little bit further in the future, I think. But what I'm talking about is the virtual reality memory of your family member. You can have your family member record messages, record moments, record things to you, and put them virtually in a USB thumb drive or in a virtual world or on your computer, where you could go into the world easy, privately or publicly or whatever. And you could just open the program, put your headset on, your virtual reality, go into family, go to Uncle John. You walk into the house, whatever, or you walk into a park, the house, wherever it is, there's John, Uncle John, sitting there. And you can take recordings of Uncle John to program his voice, or things that he really did and said, and relive them and watch them in virtual 3D reality like he's really there. You can have him record those things. So you would basically say like, hey guys, the whole family's gonna, go record, me and your dad decided to go down to, memories.com and record our image digitally for you. And so therefore they could answer any question that you would have. So in the future, if you were concerned about money, they would pre-program their responses. Like your daughter's having trouble financially, and you can give as much advice as you can right there into the computer. Okay, your daughter just got married to someone, and you can say like, listen, I'm sure whoever it is, make sure they're good for you, and we approve, and we'll be watching, and no matter what happens, we're with you no matter what, and congratulations, and we wish we could be there with you, and things like that. What if one of you's dead and the other one's not alive, and the other one can say, at least your father's there with you. You guys are making me proud. And you're recording these things almost like it's a video game, and you're doing the soundtrack for the video game. And, it could take as long as you want. If you want to keep it simple, it could take you an hour to 2 hours to record some messages to your loved ones. Or it could take you weeks to record messages and your thoughts. And you could say like, well, why don't you just go do those things now with the person? But it's like they're not all going to come up. You're not going to sit down with your daughter, son, or friend, or whoever and start giving them advice about everything forever. You're not going to do that. So you can record over, the course of 5 to 20 hours of advice, reactions, talking about your favorite movies, so that when your daughter, son, friend, or whoever goes into the virtual world, they can say, hi, Dad. And your dad would say, of course, Dan. Hi, Dan. How have you been? And you're like, oh, my God, it's really your dad's voice, because it's really his voice. He really recorded this. Now, you could fake his voice through sound manipulation at some point, too, but it'd be more authentic if he genuinely was delivering these lines. And then you said, well, Dad, I know you did this virtual thing for me in Memories, and we talked a little bit about movies, and I know you liked Star Wars, and I know you liked, The Godfather or whatever, But tell me about some of the other movies, that you watched. I think I want to watch them too, or connect with you. And then your dad would say, I'll tell you about all the movies I love right now. And you're like, okay. And then you go into it. The audio starts playing of what you would decipher as your favorite movies and why you love them so much. And then at the end of the 10-minute, 20-minute audio, you might say, and there's certainly more stuff to it. And if you want to see a list of some of the other things I loved, just ask Mom or whatever. But I genuinely love sci-fi, and those were my favorite movies. And here's a list of other movies I love too. And you'd be able to go back to these things over and over again. And it's this mega immersive way to connect with the essence of a dead loved one that nobody has ever seen before. And so that business of them recording it for you, uploading it for you, digitally projecting, creating the that person, like, I don't know, man, like that seems like a business and like a virtual world in the metaverse that would be phenomenal and wild, wonderful, helpful, and exciting, scary and weird in a way too. But there you go. There could be so many more things that you would do or say or have in that world. I mean, right now you could just make a video for an hour telling your kids all about you and your life and whatever. So if they ever needed to watch it, they could. You could do that. But this would be a more interactive way of, kind of escaping reality and feeling like you're really in the presence of your former loved one or whatever. Break Up Google Now says, Joe, there's a movie like this. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is a movie like that. Wonder what movie it was, though. There's probably I feel like there'd be a lot of movies like that, don't you? Thank you to Mickey K9, Gerald Armstrong, Mr. Pico Boulevard, Debe Solar Panels, Black Power History Month, Robbie Hyde, Bradley S. and Randy Viper for the donos. Do. Did I get everything? There's the $25 patron producers popping up. You know, I got to be honest. I watched, this is going to shock some people, but I watched Star Trek Discovery Season 4 the other night. Not all of it, but some of it. And as weird as it is, and still not Star Trek really, but it was definitely one of the better seasons so far. I actually kept watching episodes. And I was like, this is a little more like Star Trek than, you know, the previous stuff that they had done. Because they had, like, things going on in the episodes. I was like, huh. But goddamn, man, it's hard to watch still. But I think Season 4 is, like, one of their most, like, Star Trek episodes. WWE to put the belt back on Bobby just for BHM. You might be right, but I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, though. I mean, who else is it going to go on? You know what I mean? Who else is going to have the belt go on them? You know? Let's be honest. Neil Young is busy selling his music to places that burn down rainforests. You know? What a great guy he is. You got to give it up to him. That being said, I think I've come to the end of the road here. The road here on this podcast and live transmission for you. I possibly could be back with some gaming tonight, maybe later, potentially, but I don't know. And I'm not sure. But I thank you for being here, hanging out with me. Oh my God, you can downvote stuff now on Twitter? When did this happen? Why can I downvote things? What the fuck is going on? You can downvote stuff on Twitter now. What the hell? What the hell's going on Twitter? What the hell? Are you guys seeing this? You can downvote stuff on Twitter. Awandi said this. Awandi was tweeting earlier. He said, watch this, something, I don't know. Downvote. Downvotes are private. Your downvotes aren't public and won't be shared with the tweet author or others' timeline. Oh my God, so this is like a weird secret way of being like, you suck. What? What does that mean? Why would there even be downvotes if it's not shared? Your votes aren't public and won't be shared with the tweet author or others on the timeline. Well, then what's the point of it? What the fuck is the point in a downvote if you don't see it? And, I mean, what is it, to just feel better about yourself? What the hell is the point in the downvote? I don't understand this. Is it just so the algorithm stops sharing your tweets if it gets downvoted enough? What is the point in a downvote? What is going on? I don't understand what the point of the downvote could be. Like, to basically suppress someone if like 100 people downvote it? That is weird. I mean, like, I'm not against, dislikes and stuff. It's just weird. Like, what is it going to do? I mean, I guess it could help people from... The only thing I like about a downvote button is it helps people from, like, instead of reporting your tweet, they'll hit the downvote button because they'll be like, downvoted, you know, and they'll move on. But if, like, they see a tweet they hate, they can't like it, they can't retweet it. So instead, they're probably either going to write a nasty comment or they're going to, like, report it. So now maybe they're thinking, like, instead of doing that, they'll be like, downvote, fuck this, and move on. So the downvote will stop people from commenting bad stuff as much. Or the downvote will stop people from reporting it as much. So they can only, I don't know. I mean, that could work. But you're right. It's just like the YouTube thing. You're right. But on YouTube, I know the algorithm takes it somewhat into account. But really, the dislike button on YouTube is made to really catch bots. Because when you get botted on dislikes, YouTube uses that IP information, like, really well. So there is, you know, that is used. But this is just weird on Twitter. I don't understand that. Anyway, I'm heading out. Thank you guys who stopped by. Much appreciated, man. And I will catch you maybe tonight for some gaming. Maybe. Not sure. Maybe gaming later tonight. I don't know. Hit me up on Patreon, everybody. And shout out to the $25 producers here on Patreon, man. You guys have been phenomenal and amazing. Thank you to Six for coming back in. And all the other $25 producers you guys are seeing popping up and scrolling by this whole stream. And if you can sign up on Patreon, do it now. You can do it for as little as $1 or $2. And hopefully you guys come on back. Thanks to Skittles, who also signed up today as a $25 producer. KN Spielberg, Patrick Crawford, who's back. And Mecha Sandwich is back. Thank you. And I potentially will be back, possibly, later tonight. See you then. I made this video for Leah. Did you guys see this? I put it up on my other channel. It was like I saw ice melting. It's a very nice little tranquil video. You guys want to see it? I put it up on my gaming channel. The ice was melting in front of the house, and I was driving the car, so I just put some videos together, put some music behind it, and I gave it to Leah. I just wanted to make something for her that was goofy. So enjoy this video that I filmed on my porch and in my car, and enjoy the ice frozen storm that we're all dealing with here. See you guys tonight, maybe, if not tomorrow.